In this video, we're talking through some simple ideas around how you can balance out specific training for hiking with some other more unusual types of fitness which you may enjoy. Now, this particular video was inspired by a question I got sent through the other day. They were basically asking, I'm struggling to put together my training plan because I do some odd forms of fitness which I really enjoy. I do things like aerial arts, suspended hoop yoga, yoga hammock, pole dance. I go to my studio twice a week and do 2 1-hour classes. And I've had trainers in the past say this type of stuff doesn't count, which, doesn't really make sense. But in the planning purposes of creating a plan for my hiking, it's hard to figure out how much and what types of additional weight and cardio I should do, especially as it changes what I do week to week with my classes. And this is a pretty common situation a lot of people fall into, because when it comes down to specific training for hiking, we may be wanting to fit in particular things to help with us on the trail. We may want to be doing pack walking or stair climbing or specific strength training or hiking or whatever it may be. But then we look at what we're doing in the week and we're like, well, there are certain sessions I really enjoy. I don't want to give up and I kind of want to see how it all fits in. It can be sometimes a little bit tricky. So a really simple way of going about this is basically just ask yourself the question, how often in the week do I want to train in total, including your classes, including your training for hiking or whatever it may be? And then depending on your answers, whether you say 6 days a week, 5 days a week, 4 days a week, 3 days a week, or whatever it is, we use this as a bit of a basis. We essentially want to look at our hiking specific stuff and just sort of say, whatever days we have available, we want to make sure we're nailing our basics and getting the fundamentals. And then for the classes that you're doing, we're not going to count them as training for hiking, but we're just going to count them as bonuses. That way you can free up the mindset of thinking, okay, what does this class do to work this and this and this? You just go enjoy your classes and then nail the other areas. So a couple of simple examples here. Maybe you may say, okay, I've got a big hike coming up. I want to train 5 days a week. Maybe I just want to keep up with 2 classes a week. I want to make sure I'm covering that and going through. Then you may say in the other days a week, okay, one of the basics I always want to fit in as a hiker is some specific strength training, something that's structured, something that's nailing the muscles that I need for my hiking, and something that's sort of controlled. So we're going to do one specific strength session. On top of that, we might do one specific hiking cardio session, which may be a pack walk or a stair session or a tempo walk or something like that. And then the last day, we're going to do something that's a little bit longer. Maybe we'll do a hike, or if we can't get a hike, just a bit of an extended walk. And as you can see, with these 3 things, we kind of cover the basics and the foundation of our specific training for hiking. And you also get the classes, which would be a nice bonus on top. Or another example, you may sort of say, hey, I'm going to do 4 days a week. Maybe I'll stick with my 2 strength sessions. And then maybe I'll do one specific strength session, or I'll do one hike or hiking specific cardio, depending on the days. And again, that can be a pretty good week. Another way of looking at this, if you're looking at 4 days a week, you may sort of say, I'm going to do 2 classes. Maybe I'm going to spend 60 minutes in the gym, and maybe I'll do 30 minutes of strength training and 30 minutes of pack walking on the treadmill or hiking specific cardio. And then I'll do one hike on the weekend or whatever it is. So it's very possible to balance these things out. So ultimately, if you're in this situation where in the planning stages, you're trying to figure things out and you're not really sure how it all works, I would just sort of say, take whatever aspects of fitness you're doing, which is more general or more odd, and just treat them as bonuses. And then just build out those foundations of training for hiking, the strength, the hiking specific fitness, and the hiking and the walking itself. And that should work out pretty well. So hopefully that helps a few people and hopefully that gives a bit of direction.